everybody. It's Steve Taylor, our County Commissioner. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, David.
You were in the news. You're all over the radio. You're all over the front page of the newspaper. You're in every blog, every chat room in Cartersville and around Bartow County about how much you're getting ready to raise the taxes.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing to raise taxes, and it's just something that we've been working on all year since I first came in January. And it's certainly not an easy thing. I'm a property owner and a taxpayer, and it hits me as well as the other citizens of Bartow County. But it's just something that we found that was necessary in our economic environment with falling revenues, and we just had to bite the bullet and do what we thought was best.
Why all of a sudden have to do this? Because we have not done this in years.
Well, it's kind of, as far as the tax increase, it is all of a sudden. But now if you start looking at our decline in revenues, in the past, say 5 years, we started declining a little in revenues, but we had a pretty big fund balance, and we didn't operate on borrowing any money or issuing TANs, so to speak. And now that seems to be what we have to do just to get by. You know, Commissioner Brown about 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, I think, he had to issue a few TANs to get by, and then they became larger as time moved on. Declining sales tax revenues, you know, we're down about 17% in sales tax revenue, and that's a big bite out of our budget. Property taxes have went down based on property values. You know, the tax assessments around the county tax digest is down from what it was like 5 years ago, and that's our biggest funding source is ad valorem taxes, and so we're off, I think, somewhere in the $6 million range. This millage rate increase is going to raise about or a little over $5 million, so we're still looking to make as many cuts as possible. Other departments are working really well with us. I'm talking about other elected officials. I think the probate court, they're hiring part-time workers instead of full-time, and that's not an easy thing to do. We've, in our own departments, over at our senior center, we had recently someone left that department, and we're going back with a couple of part-timers. And we're doing things like that and still working on trying to cut that budget even more. By the end of the year, we think we can make a few more cuts.
What kind of cuts have you made?
As far as cuts go, I guess you could say when somebody leaves, we're not hiring them back. We're down from the peak a few years ago. I think it was, the last I heard a couple of weeks ago, we're 53 employees short from the peak. Every department across the county, every elected official's department is down. For instance, the road department's down 3 or 4 people. The fire department, of all departments, you can't be off. I think we're off about 4 firemen. We're getting dangerously close to being really short on a lot of departments, and I've encouraged department heads to keep going lean, and to if we have to replace someone, we're just replacing part-time, and that's really tough. Part-timers, as you know, don't get health benefits, and they don't get to sign up on our pension plan, so it's really it's not really good, and as we move forward, maybe we can add to our staff, but that's not certainly this year going to happen, and it may not happen next year. The economy's really got to improve. Our sales tax revenue has got to come back. There's some good reasons for our sales tax revenue going down, I think. And Plant Bowen, the blast at Plant Bowen certainly hurt as far as the amount of coal that they burn. And as you know, Georgia Power is a big sales tax provider for Bartow County just based on the amount of coal that they burn. So that's a very important company to Bartow County.
How much of this did you inherit?
Well, that's a good question. I don't want to. Commissioner Brown had started the process of cutting back.
I read your chart. I saw the chart that came out, and it looked like we were in the red starting about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and I think revenues started dropping maybe as long as 5 years ago, or maybe they peaked about 5 years ago, and maybe 4 years ago started dropping quite a bit. But I'm not going to say how much of it I inherited. It is what it is, and it's what I signed up for, and we're up to the challenge. And this millage rate increase, it hurts me to do it. I've been spending the first 7 months of our administration really working on the budget. That's took up most of our time, but I think we can do it. This is something that I would automatically, after this is done, we're already looking for sales tax increases, and maybe we can get the millage rate back to a level that that the folks in Bartow County are used to. But now, one thing I'll say about the millage rate increase, if you take most every surrounding county around us, Bartow County's, after the millage rate increase, Bartow County's millage rate is still lower than almost all the counties around us.
What about pension freezes?
The pension is a problem in itself. It's getting bigger as far as the amount that we have to contribute every year. I think the next pension that we contribute next year, the contribution will be up about $500,000. We're going to have to take a strong look at that. The folks that are already on the pension should rest assured that I'm doing everything I can to protect this pension. Going forward with new hires, we may actually look at a different plan, but it's something that's out there that we're looking at, and it's a big job to solve the pension problem, and it's not going to get done in 1 year.
Right now, it's Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday evening. You're meeting tomorrow with the public at 9 in the morning.
At 10 in the morning.
At 10 in the morning, and then again at 6 tomorrow
That's
evening.
correct. That's correct.
Are you nervous?
No, I'm really not. I'm at peace with what I've done, and I understand the folks' concern. There's a lot of taxpayers out there that are kind of upset right now, and I really don't blame them. But I hope if they'll come at 10, and we're going to have a PowerPoint presentation before the public comments, and if they'll look at that, maybe they can see where their tax dollars actually go, and then everyone will have a chance to sign up and speak for a few minutes. I think we're going to try to give everybody 5 minutes, unless it's just overwhelmingly a lot of people, and then we may have to cut it back a little. But we're going to give everybody a chance to speak. If you don't get a chance to speak in the morning at 10, you can come back at 6 tomorrow night, and then we're going to have another public comment session next Wednesday at 9 o'clock.
Everybody, it's Steve Taylor, our county commissioner. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.